It is a dirty little secret that if you walk into any Guitar Center, 80% of the guitars hanging on the wall all came from the same damn factory. CORT, the offshore giant that mass produces guitar for half the industry, including those so-called premium brands. But here's the part that nobody tells you because most YouTubers won't, because they're too busy sucking up for affiliate links and sponsorship deals. What you're watching right now is going to be the rarest thing on YouTube. An actual guitar review. No paid shilling, no corporate f***ery, just the truth. I bought a PRS SE with my own money, ordered it under a fake name, and had it shipped to a buddy's house. No special treatment, no cherry picking, and PRS has no idea that this guitar is going to be broadcast to an audience of over 600,000 people. Because I want to know what you're actually going to get for your $499. Not the fantasy, not the marketing brochure, just the real deal. And if PRS hates me for making this video, well, they can kiss my ass. I don't work for them, I work for you, and you deserve the truth. I'm gonna unbox it, show off what you're actually gonna get for your money, and then I'm gonna put it in a blind test against a made in USA PRS 10 top from the early 90s worth $5,000. And then of course I'm gonna put it up against a bargain bin piece of shit that costs about $300. Because I wanna know if you can hear a difference or if we've all been paying for headstock decals and tonewood fairy dust. Hey there, I'm Glenn Fricker and I've been making records since 1997. I have no Grammys, no platinum records, and definitely no interest in kissing corporate ass just to move a product. I am not an expert. I'm the guy who spent decades building minivans by day and learning how to record metal by night because I was just too damn stubborn to ever give up. And I learned the hard way that most of what gets sold to musicians and home studio owners is just plain snake oil. The real truth is you can't buy your way into reaching your goals. You've just got to put in the work. Because when the mix is done and the track's blasting through the speakers, nobody gives a crap about your gear's pedigree. They only care if it sounds good or if it sucks. Now, I don't think it's going to surprise anybody when I say that YouTube these days is mostly advertising. Hell, I work with brands all the time, but I also pay attention to what you say. And a viewer by the name of My Turning Point made a damn good observation in a recent review I did for Sterling.
Now you just need to buy one anonymously from a random store to confirm that you didn't get a special one.
You know what? You're absolutely right. Let's do that. So I'm gonna go with PRS SE for a couple of reasons. First off, I've never actually owned a PRS. They're not exactly my style, but they've got one hell of a reputation. And I'm not here to trash something because it's popular. I'm here to see if it actually lives up to the hype. And second, because I mentioned in a viewer's comments episode a couple weeks back that CORT builds the PRS, and that video just absolutely blew up like instant rocket ride. Clearly, you, the viewer, want to know if this guitar is any good. And third, I'll confess, I freaking love what CORT is doing. They used to be the ultra cheap Punchline brand back in the 80s. They're fun to play until you showed up at band practice with one and your bass player starts making jokes about it. And let's be honest, when the bass player can land a joke, something is seriously wrong. But lately, CORT has been absolutely crushing it. I've had several modern CORTs on the show over the last couple of years, and every single one of those guitars has been nothing short of spectacular. Amazing fretwork, solid setup, great value. But, and this is a big one, all those guitars came directly from the company. You know, the ones they send out hoping that I'm gonna say nice things, the kind of guitars that get the extra love before going out the door. So the real question is, can they deliver that same level of quality for the average consumer? Or is Paul Reed Smith just putting his signature on a dressed up knockoff? So I'm buying the cheapest PRS SE I could find, and I'm doing it through Langer McQuaid, Canada's biggest music gear retailer. Now, normally I don't give these guys any screen time. Why? Well, because they once made me the single greatest offer I've ever received in my professional career. I made a video about the Art Pro VLA, a budget 2 compressor that I really like. And since their parent company owns Art, they reached out with an absolutely incredible opportunity.
Hey Glenn, what if we let you borrow gear for 3 whole days so you can make videos for us? For free!
Yeah, that's right. No pay, no support, just the privilege of doing all the work while they make all the profit. Wow, thanks guys! I'll go fuck myself on the way out! So here's the plan, a real deal stealth buy with no special treatment and no heads up to McQuaid's or PRS. Just me, a credit card, and we'll see if this PRS SE can live up to the hype or if it deserves to be drop-kicked into a dumpster behind a subway. Let's talk pricing because this is where the industry's bullshit really starts to unravel. So we're looking at $499 US at Sweetwater, 404 euros at Thomann, and 719 Canadian at McQuaid's. Now, if you actually do the math, 499 USD converts into about 690 Canadian, but hey, McQuaid's threw in a free hat, so I guess that makes up for the difference. I mean, who needs fair pricing when you can get a cap with a company logo on it? Remember what I said about McQuaid's being too cheap to pay me? Well, keep that in mind before you wear that hat. Now, all three options include free shipping, which is actually kind of a miracle, especially in Canada, where free shipping usually means we'll punt your order down a glacier and hope it shows up sometime this decade. So yeah, the fact that it showed up in 3 days is borderline miracle. Now, my all-in cost after the government kicked down the door and helped themselves to my wallet, $829.23 Canadian. Not exactly cheap, but still way less than an Epiphone Mustaine V. And here's the part that really messes with your head. At this kind of price, the PRS SE is actually competing with Harley Benton. Let's let that sink in for a sec. My Harley Benton, this is totally not a Tom DeLonge Strat ripoff, cost me a grand total of $703 Canadian all in. So for an extra $126 Canadian or only 91 US dollars, you can literally grab a PRS over a Harley Benton. What the actual hell? We have officially crossed into the upside down clown world where PRS, yes, Paul fucking Reed Smith, is now in the budget brand territory. Next thing you know, Gibson's gonna release a Les Paul Studio Deluxe Lite Ultra XT with a suggested retail price of only $6,000 and a solderless wiring harness that falls apart if you look at it wrong. Now, since we're talking PRS, we've gotta bring up the Tonewood Gong Show. You remember that clip? Paul having somebody banging on blocks of wood like he's auditioning for the Blue Man Group? I'll give him credit. That is a solid demonstration of acoustic resonance. If I was shopping for a new xylophone, but I'm not. I'm looking for a solid body electric guitar. A slab of wood with pickups bolted on and strings that vibrate over electromagnets. So what exactly does that little wood block symphony have to do with what your actual recorded tone sounds like? Fucked if I know. Fucked if anyone knows. Let's get real here for a second. I am not trying to capture the subtle harmonic overtones of a tree's final breath. I want carcass, I want in flames, I want cathedral, I want crushing heavy recorded metal tones. Because this is not Spectre Sound Spiritual Tonewood Adventures, it's Spectre Sound Studios. The job here is to make records, not rub your ear on a mahogany plank and write poetry about the grain structure. So here's an actual question. Can this Indonesian-made PRS SE, built by CORT, hang with a real made in the USA PRS 10 top when it comes to the one thing that actually matters? How does it sound when it's recorded? Does the Tone Fairy sprinkle extra magic dust on American wood? Or is it just another myth the industry sells you to justify a $5,000 price tag? Let's unbox this guitar and find out. And if this video is already making your Tonewood worshipping friends squirm, hit that subscribe button, because I'm just getting started. And here it is out of the box. I gotta say, wow, it is awfully shiny under these lights. Like, look at that shit. Pretty interesting finish, that's for sure. I thought, yeah, blue metallic, what the hell? Let's get something that'll actually show up on camera. I, for one, am sick and tired of demoing black guitars because they just don't look that interesting in my opinion. And they just pick up fingerprints like crazy. And of course, we gotta start off with a very important fingerprint magnet check. And yep, you're not seeing much on this, so that is super cool. It's gonna be super easy to keep clean, that's for sure. You know, if you get sweaty and whatnot, just wipe it off, it'll probably be fine, but this one's gonna be real easy to keep clean. This is why I bought a silver colored car, so I don't have to run it through the car wash every fucking other day like my last car, which was all black. Believe me, lesson well learned, so I do really enjoy the finish on this. Of course, we do want to hear what it actually sounds like when we play something. Oh yeah, that's interesting. So just quick signal chain. We're running a Bad Cat into the Neve. We're running a 57 and a Lewitt 440, and I've got that incredible Eventide H9000 going on here for just a little bit of reverb, delay, and chorus. Yeah, it does the trick, doesn't it? $4.99. I am really liking what I'm seeing here. It was pretty cool in E standard, but I tuned it down to drop D just to play a couple of riffs, and I'm like, oh man, that really, really delivers the goods in a really cool way. Like, let me show you what I mean. The fact that I can get low string pinch harmonics off this guitar pretty much effortlessly says a great deal about its build quality, in my opinion anyway. Damn cool indeed. Now, of course, we got to start asking real questions here, the kind of questions that people online want to know the answers for. So what I did was I did a little bit of research and thought I'd start asking questions that the experts out there ask, because I am no expert at all. We got to do the real instrument test. Apparently, this guitar is not over $3,000, so it doesn't qualify as a real instrument. I'm really sorry to tell you this, guys. If you thought you were going to get an amazing guitar for $499, well, I'm sorry, it's just not good enough. But one other thing I got to do is throw a strap on and give this thing the all-important neck dive test. I just find a lot of reviews really don't do this, and it's kind of important. I mean, like, if you're going to be playing, your local club for your girlfriends and your parents, you want to make sure your guitar's not going to get away from you. So let's just see what we got here. I've got a very slippery Ernie Ball strap going on this thing, and let's see how it handles. Yeah. It's got a tiny bit of neck dive, that's for sure. Hold on, let me grab a different strap and try something with like a rough leather on the inside. Maybe it'll grip just a little bit better. It does feel just, oh, hang on. Let's take the tuner off. Maybe that'll help just a little bit. Nope, not at all. All right, so I changed things up for a leather strap because honestly, I don't think this guitar should dive that much if you've got the proper strap. Let's take a look here. Yeah, that's not bad at all. So word of the wise, if you are experiencing a little bit of neck dive, maybe the seatbelt webbing style strap design might not be the right choice. Maybe go something with rawhide on the inside, and that's going to grip your shirt just a little bit better and keep the guitar from sliding around. And also helps if you're playing and so it doesn't slide down your neck, because this is a pretty slick finish. So another thing I've got on the show here as a regular feature now is the output jack test. And this is really important because this is literally the part where your guitar meets the amp, and you want something rock solid. And this, decent. If I was going to give it out a 5 score, I would probably give it maybe 3.5. I've definitely seen better output jacks, but it's not like the cable's going to fall out anytime soon. But if you ever get yourself one of these things and you feel you need to upgrade something, I'd say start with the output jack, maybe get something that grips just a little bit tighter, or maybe go in with a set of needle nose pliers and just tighten it up that way. That might help out just a little bit too. That might actually save you a couple bucks. Here's the thing. If you're recording guitar at home, 2 sets of things I'd really recommend having on hand are 1, good needle nose pliers, and 2, precision screwdrivers, like jeweler's screwdrivers. You can find them on Amazon for dirt cheap. They're just going to be no end of help in your home studio. You just never know when you're going to need them, but I guarantee you will. And one more test here. We have to do the soul test. Again, I reached out to the online experts, and apparently the soul of the guitar is in the craftsmanship. And while this guitar was not handmade by Paul Reed Smith, this came off an assembly line in Indonesia at the CORT factory. So sorry guys, your $499 PRS has no soul. At least that's according to the experts. almost forgot. Gotta do the clean test. I've had a number of comments from people saying they really enjoy that, so here you go. Yep, sounds like clean guitar to me. There, you happy? Now, of course, those same experts who talk about things like the soul of a guitar, and if it's not $3,000, it couldn't be a real guitar, always go on and on and on about the whole tone wood thing. And I always do the quote-unquote tone wood test because I just find the entire notion to be ridiculous. The thing is, it's like, can you really even tell what a guitar is if you take away the visual? Because Les Paul said it decades ago that musicians and people listen with their eyes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this $499 guitar made by CORT that says PRS on it, but it's still very much an Indonesian CORT. And we're gonna put it up against this early 90s made in USA PRS 10 top. Beautiful guitar, no question about it. I really love, the top and whatnot. It's just gorgeous. But the big question is, does it actually have a sonic advantage over this one? We're gonna do one of my favorite things to do on the show, and that's a blind shootout. We're gonna listen to it clean, and we're gonna listen to it with gain. Clearly, if this made in USA guitar has any kind of sonic advantage, you should be able to tell just by listening. Now, just to keep things interesting, I'm also gonna throw a $200 piece of shit guitar into the mix. That way you're not gonna have a 50-50 chance of guessing which guitar is which. And now for all you Tonewood fans out there, now is your chance to shine. Take a listen to this and you tell me which is the standout, guitar A, B, or C, just by using your ears. Here we go. So let's give this guitar the Spectre Sound 5-star breakdown. Now, this review was not paid for by PRS. This was funded by people like you who bought my course, The Home Studio Cheat Code, so I can keep making honest content and give you the review you deserve to see. For packaging, 3.5 stars. It came double boxed, which means somebody out there decided that this guitar might actually be worth protecting. Shocking, I know. And it even came with a gig bag because nothing screams premium experience like a slightly padded nylon sock with a zipper. Sure, it's one step above a grocery tote, but it keeps the dust off and it's technically protection, so there is that. Oh, and it showed up in 3 days, and that is record time for McQuaid's. There's a reason that they're often referred to as long and delayed. Maybe they're starting to finally learn something. Fit and finish, 4 stars. This part almost made me suspicious. The fretwork on the guitar is fucking amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. On a $499 guitar, which begs the question, who the hell let the ProTech into the budget line? Somebody at CORT clearly missed the memo that entry level means don't bother. The only flaw I can find is this tiny little bump right here that got under the finish. It's probably a rogue dust bunny that escaped QA by ninja rolling onto the body just before paint was applied. It's just enough to be annoying. Yeah, not really that much to worry about. To be honest, I've seen far worse on guitars that cost 6 times as much as this thing. My only real complaint is there's no forearm contours, so if you're sitting down for a long time, this might cause some bruising. Setup, 5 stars. I pulled this out of the box and it's actually playable. Seriously, how often do you open a sub $500 guitar and don't immediately reach for your guitar tools? Well, not this time. The action is great, the intonation is perfect, and the neck relief is dialed in. I don't know if this was set up by somebody at CORT or somebody at McQuaid's who miraculously knew what the hell they were doing, but holy crap, thank you. This is the kind of setup that makes me believe in humanity again. Components, 3 stars. Let's call this guitar what it is. Functional. It works, it doesn't offend me, but it doesn't impress me either. The pickups are wires around magnets just like every other pickup in existence, but the trem has all the personality of warm oatmeal. It works, but don't expect it to impress anybody, not even your mom. I much prefer trems with some kind of locking nut, and truthfully, I think a better choice for this guitar would have been a hardtail, a Graphtec nut, and some locking tuners. Like seriously, you can buy them for $35 Canadian on Amazon these days. Tuning would be much more stable and the cost would be similar. And for overall, I'm gonna give this guitar 4 stars. Let's be real, this guitar should not be this good. It should have sharp frets, mile-high action, and hardware made out of recycled pop cans. But instead, it plays great, looks pretty cool, and was actually set up by somebody who knew what the fuck they were doing. And that, my friends, is why CORT deserves some serious respect. They went from making joke-tier guitars in the 80s to producing absolute monsters like this one for half the price of a set of historic reissue pickups from Gibson. So yeah, hats off to CORT. This isn't great for the money, this is a great guitar, period. So what are we really looking at here? This PRS SE is not a vintage $5,000 10-top. It doesn't have a finish that looks like it was hand-sprayed by angels, and it doesn't come with a leather-bound certificate signed in Paul Reed Smith's blood. And it doesn't have the mystical sound-enhancing properties of seasoned American tonewood. But what it does have is a rock-solid build, legit fretwork, and a setup that actually lets you play the damn thing. And tuning that holds its own when you hit the record button, all for under $500. And that is the part that's really gonna piss some people off, because this guitar proves something the industry doesn't want you to believe. You're not paying for sound, you're paying for status. You're paying for headstock logos and Instagram clout. You are paying to join the cult of tonewood and heritage so you can impress other tone-chasing dumb fucks on open mic night. Meanwhile, CORT's out here building workhorses that just plain fucking rip. This PRS SE doesn't just punch above its weight class, it kneecaps guitars 3 times its price and walks away whistling. And if that makes you uncomfortable, well, good. Because maybe, just maybe, it's time you stopped listening to marketing departments and started listening to your ears. Not your wallet, not your vintage fairy tale collection, just your freaking ears. That's if they can handle it. Now, about that blind test, I want you to tell me, leave a comment and let me know which was the standout. Was it the Made in USA model, or was the best sounding guitar something far less expensive? Subscribe and all will be revealed. Unless, of course, you're scared of finding out that your $5,000 guitar just got smoked by a budget import. But I need 5,000 subscribers to make that happen. So it's your move. Came from the same Dame, okay. 404 years, Ultra XT with a suggested retail price. Fuck! Chakras calm. Feel the force.